May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Thursday, the 6th of October. How are you doing, my friends? I myself am fine. Thank you for asking. I had 8 hours of sleep last night for the first time in I don't even know how long. Absolutely amazing. Feeling on top of the world, ready to climb some mountains. So here we are. So what we're going to do is, let's have a gander. Yesterday, we've been looking at the dollar pairs, our euro, our pound, dollar CAD, Aussie USD, Kiwi dollar. So, Kiwi dollar's now gone into neutral. Interesting. So there's that change that you're looking out for. Like, okay, everything else still says sell. Obviously, USD CAD still says buy. But we noticed earlier in the week on Kiwi dollar that we had a couple of green scores popping into our score summary. COT data, we have to wait until the end of the week for. Seasonality, well, that's what it is for the entire month. Trend reading, right? We've still got that -2 in a trend, so a good bearish score there. But we got some change in some fundamental data, okay, which is interesting. Take a look at fundamentals. We can see where we're improving, okay, and we can then see our sentiment. So 60% long, 40% short. Notice how often that happens where we suddenly find ourselves just observing, right? Like neutrality technically. We're going to go through these in a moment. For our Japanese yen pairs, let's have a look and see if anything's changed. So still neutral on the Aussie yen, still neutral on the CAD yen, still neutral on the euro yen, still neutral on the pound yen, and the Kiwi yen is also neutral. So my yen pairs, neutrality, fundamentally, leave those alone. Kiwi dollar now neutral as well. It's an important place to pay attention to, because if we had selling fundamentally on Kiwi dollar, now we've gone into neutral, we want to pay attention to this. Now might not be a good time to be trading Kiwi dollar. Start with your fundamentals. If you've got a fundamental bias, exercise the fundamental bias technically. If the fundamental bias is neutral, do we really have any business going and trading that pair on a chart? Why would you want to? So starting with euro dollar, it's still a sell. Okay, we can see we've had some data come through in the last couple of days. And we've got some more data coming through today. Okay, I just love this tool. I love that everything is right in front of me. And we're going to be, as I've told you in previous sessions, we're busy putting this into its own app outside of Data Studio. And we'll be providing an even more intuitive interface. But right now, what this does provide is absolutely stunning. I still challenge you from a seasonal perspective. Go and try and find seasonal charts for every single one of these pairs. I mean, every single one of these pairs, every single one of them has a seasonal chart right here in front of you. That by itself is just absolutely incredible. And I love the score summary. I like the fact that I didn't have to do any work whatsoever. And my QuantBox has now told me that my Kiwi dollar has changed to neutral. And it can tell me that I can go and investigate, like, interest rates. There's been a change there. Okay, so I can go investigate, like, what has happened? What have the central banks said? What have they been paying attention to? Is this the start of a new trend? But what's nice is that I don't have to worry about now coming up with an idea of how to trade this, because my overall bias is now neutral. Okay, I love that. So getting to euro dollar, we've still got to sell on euro dollar. Okay. Still quite a few red scores. So looking at euro dollar, we can see technically yesterday when we met, we spoke about the potential to sell euro dollar up here. We had resistance. Remember, if we're bearish, we're looking for resistance. Nothing on this time frame has formed anything that would lead us to believe the trend is over. But now suddenly we're consolidating over here, and that's okay. We can consolidate. You've seen how before we can bounce around resistance for quite a while before going down. Okay. Now, because of the fact that prices come up, hit resistance, and then come down, I look at the daily time frame. I'm saying, well, this daily candle is closed down. So yesterday we couldn't have closed at resistance, but the previous day we did. So therefore, in terms of today, going into today, based on yesterday's close, do I have any opportunities to sell lower highs? Prices come off resistance, we've come down. Are we going to come up, make a lower high, and then have the opportunity of selling that? Or are we going to consolidate here for a while? And consolidation certainly is possible as we wait for the next news release. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see here we don't have any price action left-hand side to form lower highs. So I'll then say, well, if we haven't got lower lows and lower highs and roll reversals and stuff, then we can't be trending right now. We must be ranging. And indeed, it seems like that is the case, right? We can see like price coming up, bouncing off support, bouncing off resistance. So I'm looking for any kind of, I call it bearish integrity. So right now I'm paying attention to, can price return back up here? And can I sell price at this level? What's price doing over here? Well, I mean, I could look for opportunities to sell at weekly R1, but right now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for, outside of pivot points, I'm looking for some kind of price action roll reversal, a lower high, or price coming up to the top of the range. Okay, that's what I'm looking for right now. In the meantime, I don't have that, so I'm going to chill today on euro dollar, wait for those opportunities. If you took the trade yesterday off of that M3 because you verified it somehow on lower time frames, cool. I was chatting to a student yesterday who was trading pound dollar, and she did a stellar job on selling pound dollar yesterday. Observed price coming up on the daily time frame, connected the close of the previous day with some price on the left-hand side. Okay. And then proceeded to look at price on lower time frames. Observed that on the H4 time frame, when price came up to that resistance, we continued going down. On H1, wasn't happy with the ability to identify resistance in the H1 time frame, besides using the pivot points, and actually jumped into an M15. And she very cleverly just used the price broke the 55, price came up, double topped, top of the range, and then she sold over there just at the London Open. And she took profit at the M1, which I thought was very, very smart, because we didn't have any indication of long-term bias in lower time frames, H4 and H1. And I'm looking for that indication that because you can see here, price comes up, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then price comes up here. Where's the lower low, lower high, right? So we haven't really got that right now. So at this moment in time, I'm sort of staying away from pound dollar as well. Looking for, you can see yesterday price closes down. Okay. Can I continue trading? Can I just continue trading the resistance from the previous day using lower highs? Again, look at your H4 time frame. Look at how you don't have any roll reversals up here. So if we haven't got any roll reversals, then price hasn't broken below floor to come up and test the roof. Okay, now we've got one over here. That could become a future roll reversal, or price could come up and close this resistance over here. And those really are the two levels I'd be looking at selling. So either way, I've got some waiting to do. Either price comes all the way back up and I sell over there, or something happens with price. We break down below a level over here. I verify that lower low. Price comes back up, closes at that resistance, and that's where I sell. The second one's a bit more work. I've got to make sure that if price closes down, I verify a lower low, so it doesn't close at support, comes back up, closes at resistance. The price is neutral when it does that, and then look for selling opportunities. Okay. So in the meantime, I have to wait. I'm waiting for that setup. In terms of the Kiwi dollar, remember we've got neutrality on the fundamentals. And so if I'm driven by fundamental data, then right now, even though I'm at a weekly target, I'm going to just leave this pair alone. Driven by fundamentals first, and then confirm fundamentally. How do I confirm neutrality on a chart? Do I just look for like sideways, low volatility? Why would I want to trade that? Right? USD CAD. Oh, by the way, on the Kiwi dollar, there was a trade this week. We spoke about it earlier the week. If you bought down here on Sunday night at Asia and took it up to the weekly central, we still spoke at the start of the week about the confluence of weekly central with the weekly M4. If that was your trade for the week, you're done. Okay, took profit, you're done. Nice little counter trade, free money. Same thing on the USD CAD. You sold up here. Your target was the monthly central. You can see their confluence of the weekly targets. You got in, you got out, weekly trade done. Then with regards to the Aussie dollar USD, you bought down here, it targets the central. We haven't reached it yet, but you have no reason to take profits. That trade, maybe your trade's at break even, and you're waiting for price to get to target. Okay. In the meantime, choppy. Nothing else you're doing with this. Excuse me. Excuse me. You bought down here, you're taking it up there. That's it. Bada boom, bada bing. Easy peasy. So then we go down to the yen pairs. Remember neutrality. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, so glad I'm not getting stuck inside that. And it's so nice that fundamentals like, neutral. And you're like, oh, look at that neutrality. Cool. Leave it alone. Okay, CAD yen. Also, like, you could have bought it in M2. You could have taken it up. No problem. No problem at all. Just remember your fundamentals are neutral. So you want to be like, I like to be, I was always just a technical trader, right? And I can see now how much better my trading is going to be because I have a fundamental tool. I've now got something I can hold accountable. I've got to remain disciplined though. I've got to remain controlled. I've got to be in a situation where if my fundamentals are saying neutral, I just absolutely do not get tempted to trade. Okay. Euro yen also neutral. So looking at this chart, I don't care what it says. I'm not interested in trading it. My fundamentals are neutral, right? I also think that what's really powerful about QuantBox is the fact that you got all these tools at your disposal, these beautiful tools, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it's backed by someone like Wayne McDonald, who's done the studying. He knows enough to know that this data is correct, right? And that's important to me. The fact that he said, yep, this has got my stamp of approval. Because the problem with tools out there is you find a site, they offer a service, you pay them for a service, you get their tools, and you don't know who they are. You're not sure who the company is. They've got no credibility. You're using their data. How do you know their data is correct? Also, you know, when you've been working with Wayne for as long as most of you have, you know the type of data he looks at and how he trades. And so you know that everything that's on here is everything you need. And if any future tools become available to you, you don't need to worry about requesting those because he's got that covered, right? There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be adding to this, a lot of stuff. But right now, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It really, really is. And again, fundamental bias sells. We're busy looking at something else right now. We're busy looking at our yens, right? Fundamental bias neutral. I'm leaving this alone. I'm not interested, right? Pound yen neutral. Okay, I've got price all the way up here. That's fine, no problem. Fundamentals say neutral. Not doing anything with it. And then Kiwi yen also neutral. So right now for me, the pair that the trades I'm paying attention to is the euro dollar and the pound dollar. And I'm really looking for an opportunity to sell. Either I'm waiting for price to come all the way back up here or price to make a lower low and sell a lower high. Okay. Same thing on pound dollar. And I'm aware of the fact that tomorrow is quite a big news release. And so I'm okay. I think this week's trading really, where the money was made this week, was on the Kiwi dollar, buying down here, taking profit over there, on the USD CAD, selling up here, taking profit down here, and the Aussie USD, which is still to reach targets, buying down here, taking profit here. Those for me are the 3 trades of the week. And you could have done the same thing on USD ZAR, by the way. So all the commodity currencies against the dollar, that's where the money was this week. Everything else has been a bit of a wait. But again, what's nice is that looking at my fundamentals, I can say to myself, okay, I'm not going to get tricked into buying euro dollar, right? My pound, I'm not going to get tricked into buying pound dollar because my fundamentals are still bearish. Love the tool, super powerful. QuantBox.co. It's like using cheat codes. Have an amazing day, my friends, and I'll see you tomorrow.